the crown of the head. So you can create this sensation of feeling suspended through the spine. And just making any sort of movements or adjustments that you need to. Maybe you could just really let go of the belly, allow it to flotate out, sort of like a baby's. Allow the shoulders to completely relax down the back as if they were melting away from the ears. Notice your jaw. Notice if it's clenched, if it's holding tightly, if you can create some more space in the teeth. If you can relax the space behind the eyes, all of the nerves that go directly into the brain that are constantly taking in information while we're awake. And soften your eyebrows. So almost as if you could feel like they were melting away from one another and then down the sides of the face. And then soften your forehead. And from this space, just settle into your internal landscape. As we withdraw our awareness from the external, we begin to focus on the internal. And just notice the breath. Take a deep breath in. Fill the belly, the chest, all the way up to the collarbones with air, and pause at the top. And just feel this space that's in between the inhale and in between the exhale. And then sigh it out with an open mouth, exhale. And let's just do 2 more like that. Take a slow and deep breath in from the belly all the way up. Feel the whole torso just filled with air and new space. And just pause at the top. And when you exhale, let go of any sounds that the body wants to make. Sometimes it can feel good to release out some sound. Let's just do 1 more like that. Take a deep breath in, slowly and mindfully. Feel the sensations of the breath as you're breathing. And let it go with an exhale. And then just allow the breath to settle. Close down through the mouth. So you're whispering the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So I'd like to do some pranayama this morning. I'd like to do Kapalabhati breathing, which is commonly known as the breath of fire. So I'll just describe the breath first. You can sort of open the eyes if that's easier for you to see rather than to just listen. So you'll allow the belly to really expand and bloatate when you breathe in. And then the exhale is like a snapping back of the core. So it will look like this. It'll be a little bit faster than that, but you're allowing the exhale to be a snap back of the core, and then the inhale will just be a natural byproduct of the body sort of going back to normal. So it will be quick, like it's like a pumping of the abdomen. And we'll just go for a little while. I'll tell you when to stop. So exhale everything out and inhale to about 2/3 of your lung capacity. And then exhale to begin. And keep going. And basically you can move slower if you need to, but just allow the core to be what pushes the exhale out. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale everything out. Inhale for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. So hold the breath after the inhale and hold this for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. And at the end, hold the exhale. So hold after all of the breath leaves the body and hold it for a count of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then breathe in slowly for a count of 6. You can count internally. And then exhale for a count of 6. And we'll just do one more round just like that. So breathe in slowly to about 2/3 capacity. And then exhale, we'll begin fire breath. Exhale everything out. Inhale for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just slowly inhale with control and allow the breath to return to a natural rhythm. Release the control over the breathing and just take a few moments to check in with yourself again. See if you can observe any differences that you feel in the body. In the mind, in the emotions. And on the next inhale, start to reach the fingers up overhead so the palms touch. You can blink the eyes open or keep them closed. And as you exhale, lower the palms to the crown just for a moment to honor this connection to something greater. And then lower the palms towards the third eye, the space in between the eyebrows, this intuitive space. And then to the mouth, this connection with our truth and with our own expression. And then to the heart, the center, the connection from our lower chakras to our upper chakras, this bridge between the physical and the non-physical. And just take a moment here, feeling into your heart space. See if you can observe an intention, something that can arise that you are practicing for today. It can be a dedication. It could be something you're working towards. Just allow it to be short and positive, whatever it is that brought you to the mat today. And just repeat it to yourself a few times, like a little mantra, just drumming away on the inside of your mind. And let's open our practice with the sound of Om, so you can just listen or you can join in. Exhale everything out wherever you are. And then inhale to chant. And then just blink open the eyes and let's make our way into a standing position at the top of the mat. So you can slowly make your way up. And just step towards the top of your mat. And start to find this position where the hands are sort of close to one another, the fingers are free, the elbows are reaching to the sides. And see that you can relax through the upper body and sort of draw the sit bones forward with the top of the hips back. So you can feel the whole spine sort of lengthening forward from the lower back to the upper back, but keep the gaze forward. And breathe to the belly, allow the belly to release so the core isn't locked here. Just take a moment to move your neck from side to side, finding an infinity sign with the tip of the nose. And then start to reach the fingers down and back around so the backs of the palms touch. And then open across the front of the body as you reach the fingers up. You can move through the fingers, through the shoulders, you can circle. And then reach the fingers forward and down. And we'll just repeat that a few times. So breathing in as you reach up. And coming back down through the center and circling around and just sort of finding a rhythm here to start. Allowing the body to just breathe as it wants to. With a lot of these postures, you'll find that you don't even really need to think about the breath because the postures are breathing the body for you. It's positioning the body in a way that just naturally allows the air to move in or out. And then the next time the hands come up, just leave them up towards the ceiling. And you can come up onto the toes, so your heels are lifted, and then press it down. And then just repeat that a few times. And then the next time you come up, you can bend the knees and sink lower, and then tension up and down. And just move here, however your body is inviting you to go, and to explore. Just notice things like your balance, how your knees feel. And continue reaching forward through the fingers so you can almost feel your shoulders drawing up. And then maybe start to lengthen through one side, come back through the center and lengthen up and over to the other side. And come back through the center, release the hands down, and start to flex through the backs of the wrists. So you're feeling the upper back, the skin of the upper back, drawing apart and open. And you're still pressing your sit bones forward so you can still feel this almost lengthening through the lower back, through the sacral area. And come up onto the toes. You can stay here, or you can come a little bit deeper and tension and release. Only going as deep as the body allows. And then when you come up, start to open the fingers to the sides and back. Flex through the fingers, press the palms as if you were trying to press the walls to your sides away from you. And then again, you can come up onto the toes and tension down. But try not to compress the lower back. Still try to press the sit bones forward so you can feel a lengthening out there. And then on the next inhale, circle the backs of the hands to meet and reach up overhead. Come up onto the toes. You can bend the knees, but we'll try to move through that with our heels lifted. So open across the chest, reach back behind you. And then circle the hands forward and flex through the backs of the wrists. Maybe you can tension, and it's okay if you need to come down to your heels. And then we'll just release the heels down and inhale up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, start to reach down to the side of one hip. And reach one elbow up towards the ceiling. And we'll just take a little bit longer moving through this in pieces, and then open up the hands so you start to feel a lengthening through the side body. And then shift the hips and the weight. Maybe come onto the toes and really reach the arms apart. Maybe you can gaze up towards the fingers. Maybe you can still breathe to your belly. And just take about one more breath here. And then circle the bottom hand forward and around and up. And then exhale the hands to the other side. Reach the elbow up towards the ceiling. Open the arms apart. And then shift the weight. Lengthen through one side of the body. Maybe the gaze lifts. Just see that you can still move through the shoulders. And then circle the bottom hand down, around, and up. And then release the hands forward and down. And come into that posture we started our class in. Call it ugly asana. And then as if you're starting this sort of tornado movement from the base of the spine, start to ripple up all the way until you feel your arms engaged, but allow the hips to still square forward and lengthen through the front ear so the side of the neck is long. Really press the hands away from one another so the shoulders are moving apart. And then allow the hip to rotate so you find more depth in the twist and the hips are engaged. And then from here, allow yourself to spiral around like a little tornado. So even the arms are twisting around your body as much as you can, and even your eyes are looking back towards the back corner that you're twisting towards. This is the drishti, the point of focus for the eyes. And then hug the bottom hand in and around. Give yourself a hug. And as you inhale, open up slowly across the front of the body, open the hands out, circle them to the sides, and back to where we began. And then finding that same freedom in the neck, the belly, the shoulders, the fingers, starting from the base of the spine, twist towards the right. First, keeping the hips squared, keeping your gaze forward. So you're just isolating this in the thoracic spine where the ribs meet the vertebra. And then start to open the hips so you find more depth in the twist throughout the entirety of the spine. And then wrap the hands around the body. Maybe one of the heels lifts and you can look towards the corner of the eye that you're twisting towards. Take one more breath in and out here. And then hug the back arm in and around. And move slowly here. So start to move the vertebra up, open across the front of the body, and then reach the hands towards the ceiling and down so the backs of the hands meet. And inhale them up towards the ceiling. And exhale forward and down. Circle the backs of the hands to meet. And breathe in towards the ceiling. And we'll just move through our spinal movements one more time with a little bit more speed and fluidity. So one elbow reaches up. Open and shift the hips and really reach through the fingers. And circle the bottom hand down, around, and up. And we'll move to the other side. And just see if you can relax everything that's not necessary to hold you in the postures. We're moving our energy through the body like a pump. So notice if you feel any heat starting to build. But observe, is your heart rate picking up? Or is your heart rate staying low, but you're just getting warm? And then circle the bottom hand down and around. Give yourself a hug and open up the front of the body as you reach to the sides and down. Circulation is everything of health. It is how we distribute prana, fresh oxygen throughout every area of the body. So in a lot of these movements, we're turning our body into a pumping mechanism that takes pressure off of the heart. Then hug the bottom hand down and around. Open up the front of the body. Backs of the hands meet. Inhale the fingers up towards the ceiling. And then start to slowly move towards the left or whichever side. You can mirror me. And just allow the body to breathe how it wants. And then start to come to the toe. And hug the knee in towards the chest without touching it. Round the spine over that thigh. And then release the toe down. Open across the front of the body. And you can lift from the inseam of the thigh. Maybe flex the toes. Bend the knee, and then with control, place the foot back to the ground. And then moving to the other side. Just feeling into the body this morning. And then start to come to the right finger toe tips. Keep most of the weight in the leg that you're not moving over, so the standing leg. And then hug the knee towards the chest. Allow the spine to round, allow the shoulders to draw away from one another. Relax the jaw, relax the belly. And then release the toe down to the ground. Open the chest and the hands. Lift from the inseam of the thigh. And release down to the ground. Cool. So we did this on Wednesday. You can just find a sort of neutral movement in the wrists while I kind of demonstrate the start. So imagine everything in a figure 8, an infinite loop of balance. And you'll move on one side first, create a circle, keep the palm facing up the whole time. So just follow when you're ready. And try to keep the palm always facing up, as if you had a bowl of soup that you were trying not to spill. And just feeling this rotation as it moves through the shoulder. How the spine wants to move. Good, and then let's just change the side. So bring the opposite hand forward and up, creating a large circle. And you can follow the hand with your eyes once you establish this rhythm and you know where you're going. And then let's do both hands at the same time. So we'll reach and still try to keep the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Cool. And then we'll come back to just the right side. And as you come down, step the foot down and open through the whole side body and press this lower hand to the side. So you're almost creating a twist as well as a lateral lengthening, and you can bend the knees and stay buoyant. And then step back to center. And let's move to the other side. So sort of twisting the arms. You can gaze up towards the top fingers, staying buoyant in the knees. And then stepping back to the center. And let's make this a little more fluid. So just moving from side to side. And take about one more on each side. And then come back to center. Let's just end with both arms moving. Then the next time, the hands reach up towards the ceiling. Allow the shoulders to draw up towards the ears. Relax the belly. Breathe down to the belly. And start to round the spine forward as much as you can. Then bend the knees and release the hands to the ground. And then start to straighten through the legs so you find your Uttanasana. Allow the knees to keep as much of a bend as they need to. Seek the connection of belly to the top of the thigh rather than the legs being straight. Just take a moment here. You can sort of sway from side to side, allowing the belly to open to one wall and then roll through the center. And then inhale to find a halfway lift. So Ardha Uttanasana, bring the hands under the knees or to the ground, but keep the spine lengthened. And then fold forward, exhale. Shift the weight into the left foot and start to reach the right foot up. So you're in a modified standing split. You can roll through the ankle of the right leg in both directions. And then with control, release the right toes down to the ground. Stay buoyant in the back knee. So we're in a runner's lunge. Place the fingertips on the ground just in front of the feet and start to angle the left toes to about 45 degrees. So you can stay here if this is enough in the hips, or you can place the palms on the ground, or you can start to lower down. Keep an eye on the hips. So notice if your right hip is dropping, try to keep the two hips in line with one another. And then as you inhale, come up towards an upward facing dog. So pull the heart forward and up and maybe lift the gaze. Try to pull the chin up towards the ceiling so you feel almost a stretching sensation across the front of the throat. And then as you exhale, press to the foot, pivot back towards the front so you're in a runner's lunge again. And with your next inhale, reach the hands to the sides and up overhead. So you're in a high crescent. And you can move here, bending and straightening the legs. If you lose your balance, you can widen the stance. And just allow the fingers to be soft. There's no tension. You can slow it down or speed it up. And then reach the hands to the outside of the bent knee, hip, and reach one hand up to the ceiling. Press the fingers apart. You can shift down in the back knee, and then circle that hand down, around, and up. And as you reach forward, twist to the same side. Keep the gaze to the front. Stay lifted through the side of the neck. And then hug the back hand in and around. Inhale towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, round the spine forward. Plant the hands and step to a plank. So from this plank, everyone drop the knees and the tops of the feet to start. And just take a moment to almost create this resistance by pulling the heels of the hands back and drawing the pubic bone forward so you can feel the spine rounding out. Shift the weight forward, and as you lower down, pause halfway. Hug the elbows towards the rib cage. And then release down to the ground. Come onto the elbows, flex through the backs of the wrists. So you're in like a fighting cobra. You can move through the neck. Try to pull the elbows back towards the chest while pulling the heart forward in between the hands. And see if you can feel where you're noticing your breath entering the body. You can drop the chin towards the chest. Shake the head now. And then look forward. Release the hands down to the ground and lower down slowly to the belly. Place the hands by your sides. Come up through a tabletop. Tuck the toes and then send the sit bones back towards the heels for like a variation of child's pose, but keep the toes tucked so you can feel a stretching sensation underneath the feet. And then when you're ready, inhale up through a tabletop, straighten through the legs and come into your first downward facing dog of the day. So you can pedal through the heels or you can just come into stillness. part of the practice is tuning in with your energy levels today and not being attached to the practitioner that was on the mat 2 weeks ago or one day ago or whatever it was. And it can be challenging, but it's an ongoing relationship of understanding where our body currently is and what we want our practice to be like. And just settle the breath. Try to find this samavritti, this even inhale and even exhale. And then on the next inhale, look to the space in between the hands and tiptoe your feet to the top of the mat. So move the feet slowly and continue to press into the hands until you arrive into your Uttanasana. And you can bend the knees as much as you need to. Allow the top of the head to fall heavy towards the ground. And then inhale, find Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward. And we'll just do that on the other side. So start to lift the left foot up and away from the ground. Roll through the left ankle in both directions. And then with control, start to release the left toes down towards the ground. And you can angle the right toes to the sides about 45 degrees. And maybe the palms are on the ground, maybe you're just on your fingertips. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you start to bend the elbows and sink the hips lower, but look back at the hips, try to keep them in line. Notice where you feel this sensation. If it hurts the knee, then back off a little bit. And then as you inhale, lift the heart up like you're coming into an upward facing dog. You can bend the back knee as much as you need to, and then try to pull the chin up towards the ceiling so you feel it across the front of the throat. And then as you exhale, start to come back to runner's lunge. Feel this stability in the legs before you start to reach the fingers away from the ground and up towards the ceiling. And then just move like you're the center of a wave here. You can move as slowly as you need to or as fast as you want to. And then the next time your hands are up towards the ceiling, start to reach the fingers slowly to the side of the bent knee. And then allow the opposite hand to reach up. You can move up and down. And then circle that hand down, around, and up. And start to reach forward as you twist to the right. Keep the ear lifted towards the front of the room. And then hug the back hand in and around. Reach the fingers up towards the ceiling and start to round the spine until your hands reach the ground and you can step back to a plank. So you have the option to drop the knees, or you can lower all the way down to the ground. Hug the elbows in. And then we'll take 3 rounds of Bhujangasana, that's baby cobra. So bring the big toes to touch. And as you inhale, just peel the heart away from the ground. Keep the back of the neck long so the gaze is forward and down. And then exhale, lower. And we'll do that twice more. Inhale, lift the heart, press to the tops of the toes. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Start to tuck the toes and come to this variation of child's pose. Send the sit bones back towards the heels. Maybe you can still press into the hands so you can feel a little bit more tension building in the bottom of the feet. And then on your next inhale, come up through a tabletop. Start to straighten the legs and come into your Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. And just take a moment here. You can move if you need to, or you can just settle the gaze on one point and focus on the breath, The yoga practice should be a balance of the awareness on the breath and the body. And between the two of those things, the mind has no chance. Chitti Vritti Nirodha, the practice of yoga is about stilling the fluctuations of the mind. And with the next inhale, look to the space in between the hands and travel forward to the top of the mat. Find a halfway lift when you arrive, and then exhale, fold forward. And on the next inhale, we'll reach the fingers forward and up, and then down to the side, and circle them around and just connect to this rhythm again. Like a flower, opening up for the sun, receiving the input, and then closing off for the day. It's a visualization I like to have here. And then start to come to the left toes. Move over the bent knee. And the next time you come down, you're going to slowly separate the hands in opposite directions. Now you can just keep the toes on the ground and slide the foot back, or you can start to hug the knee towards the chest. And maybe actively step back, holding at the top for a moment, and then releasing the foot down with control. So your feet are perpendicular here. Reach both feet down to the bottom ankle. And like you're slowly unwinding the spine, reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Come into your Utthita Trikonasana, your triangle pose. The gaze is up towards the fingertips that are stacked overhead. And try to create this resistance with the feet. So the back foot, the heel presses back, and the front foot, the heel presses forward, as if you were trying to tear the mat apart, but at the same time, rotate the navel up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can see that your top shoulder can still move and that your jaw is relaxed and that your belly is breathing. And look down to the bottom foot, bend the front knee, and start to make your way forward. So the front elbow presses forward, the fingertips are back towards the collarbone, and this back hand presses down towards the ground as if it were a rocket that's about to fire you off. You can slide these toes forward, and you can stay here, or you can start to hover this back foot from the ground. And so you're coming into an unsupported side stretch. Ardha Lumbar Nirochandrasana. And just take a moment here. You can always release the toes to the ground. If the leg is in the air, just gently bend the knee, release the back foot down. Pivot the chest forward so it's over the front knee and rotate on the back foot. And then press back towards the heel so you can bend the back knee. And from here, again, like a little rocket, try to lift the back toes and come into Warrior Three, Virabhadrasana. And then moving through the air, see if you can step forward to the toe, reach the fingers up. Maybe you can lift the knee and you can stay here, or maybe you press up on the foot and then down. And we'll just do that on the other side. So circle the hands so the backs of the hands meet. Reach the fingers up. Come to the right toes this time and start to move over the leg. Slow the movement down to see if you can reconnect to the sense of peace within. And then the next time the hands come forward and down, start to separate the fingers away from one another. So you can just slide the foot back, or you can start to draw the knee towards the chest. And moving through the air, kick back through the heel, come into your Ardha Chandrasana. Press through that back heel Keep the toes flexed back towards the face. And then with control, release the foot down. Stay here and then release the hands down to the front ankle. And as if you're slowly unwinding from the core, start to reach the top hand up. Gaze lifts too. And you can keep as much of a bend as you need to in this front knee. Try not to lock it straight. Try to relax what's not necessary here. The jaw, the belly, the shoulders. We're releasing tension and not creating more. I think the real challenge is doing challenging postures while staying relaxed. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Then look down to the bottom foot and start to bend the back knee and come up. So bring this front elbow forward and the fingers back towards the collarbones. And you can draw this back foot in some. You can press the heel down and stay here as an option. Or you can start to lift that foot from the ground and continue reaching this elbow forward so that you can still breathe through the belly. And then slowly start to bend the knee, release the foot down, circle the chest forward, spin on the back heel, and press the heel down. And then like you're taking off, start to lift the back foot and come through your Virabhadrasana C. And try to pull the chest forward. And now maybe you can just draw the knee straight away towards the chest, or maybe you step forward to the toes. Reach the fingers up towards the ceiling. And you can stay here, or you can try to press up on the heel of the foot and then down. And just move for a second here, resetting the hips. Release the hands down, open the chest, flex the hands back. And then circle the hands forward, flex through the backs of the wrists. Now bring the backs of the wrists to touch. And reach up towards the ceiling. And start to move towards the left side again. And then reach all the way behind you. And with this top arm, circle it around. So you have your arms reaching in opposite directions. Come to the toe tip here. So it's like this. And then you can draw this knee in towards the chest. So it's like you're twisting around the leg. And then with control, start to step back behind you. Flex through the foot and release the foot down to the ground. So you're coming into a half extended side angle. So you can bring this elbow to the front knee and sort of stay like this. So you're lengthening through the back foot and the front arm. Or you can release this hand to the outside of the front foot to find more depth. But just notice what feels good and try to not go beyond comfort. You can take the gaze up, maybe towards the fingers if it's okay for the neck. Take a breath to the belly. And look down to your bottom foot. Release the top hand down. So you're coming into a runner's lunge. Spin on the back heel. And then as you inhale, reach the fingers up towards the ceiling for Chalanasana, high crescent. And then start to reach the hands to the side of the bent knee and circle the top arm up. So you find that same twist in the arms, but in the opposite direction. And then, so you're keeping this bend over the ankle in the front knee. The back heel is lifted. Start to bring this elbow towards the knee. So you're coming into a revolved version of what we just did. Parivrita Parsva Konasana, twisted side angle. So you can stay here, or if it feels okay to find depth, then you can. but just be mindful of the body. For twisting and lengthening. Take one more breath here. Look down to the bottom foot and really root through the feet. Use the core to come upright. Hug this top arm around and inhale the fingers up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, reach the hands forward and down. And stay here and try to step this left knee in towards the chest. You can just come to the toes if that feels better. And then release both feet to the ground and just sort of move from side to side, let go of that. And then inhale the hands up towards the ceiling, and we'll just move to the other side. And the next time you reach back, circle the top arm forward and around. So you find this twist in the arms. You're reaching the fingers in opposite directions. Come to the toes. Maybe you can just sort of roll through the chest, through the spine. And then hug the knee in towards the chest. Or you can just step this foot back, or you can move through time and space in the air. Flex the back foot, and with control, release down to the ground. So we set up the foundation of the legs, and then you can release the left elbow to the left knee and still reach forward through the top hand. Now you can stay here, or you can take it wherever feels good. So that might mean more depth, or it might mean less depth. Try to breathe to the belly. Try to relax the jaw. Take one more breath in and out. And then release the top hand down. So you're framing the foot that's forward. Spin on the back heel and come up to a crescent lunge when you feel like you have the stability. And you can stay buoyant in the back knee. And then start to reach the hands to the side of the bent knee. And then reach the top arm forward and up. So you find this twist in the arms. Moving from the core, start to bring your right elbow to your left knee. Twist the chest open and come into your Parivrtta Parasvakonasana. So you can stay here, or you can find more depth. But only find depth if the body is inviting you. Look down to the bottom foot. Connect to your strong foundation. Use the core to come upright again. Hug the top arm down and around. So you're giving yourself a hug, and then open up towards the ceiling. Start to reach forward and down. And see if you can step the right knee in towards the chest. Reach the fingers up. And then both hands down and just sort of pedal the feet from side to side. And inhale, open the palms, open the toes to the side. Exhale, palms down, heels out. Just sort of slowly open through the legs until you find the elephant stance, the Gajasthana. So the toes are to the side and you're sort of lengthening through the lower back, so don't compress. You can press down through the tops of the thighs to lengthen out through the spine. And then start to reach down towards the ground. Interlace the fingers and press the palms away, forward and up overhead. Lift the gaze, continue pressing through the palms. So the shoulders are lifting, the spine is long. Then as you exhale, reach forward and down in between the legs. Fold forward. And then inhale, press the pubic bone forward as you press the palms forward. Release the hands, open to the side, and start to interlace the hands behind the back. Press the fists down, lift the chest towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, draw the heart down, draw the hands up overhead so you can feel this in the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, press the pubic bone forward, stack the spine upright, release the hands, interlace the fingers and press the palms away, reach up overhead. And you can straighten the legs if this is getting intense here. Otherwise, start to draw the right shoulder towards the right knee, and then roll the belly around towards the ground and come up through the center. And do that to the other side. So draw the left shoulder towards the left knee, roll the belly towards the ground, and then come up through the center. And then just twisting from the core, not coming around as far, coming up halfway through the center, and then to the other side. Good. And then release the hands, circle through the wrists and the fingers, and start to fold forward. Keep the bend in the knees. Just staying here for a moment, and then releasing the hands to the ground. Pivot the heels out and the toes in so the legs are straight now. And you can fold forward into your Vrajasthana Padottanasana. And just take a moment here to experience the relief that comes through the legs, to settle the breath, and to start to observe what's happening inside of the body again. What is your heartbeat telling you? What is the pace of your breath telling you? And on the next inhale, come up halfway. So the hands are underneath the shoulders. Gaze forward so the spine is long. And then plant the left hand so it's down in front of the face on the ground. And like you're pulling the bow of an arrow, start to reach the right fingers up towards the ceiling so you feel your spine unraveling. And then with this top hand, place it on your lower back. See if your one hip is hiked up higher than the other. See if you can square them off so they become parallel to the ground together. And then start to extend this arm back towards the ceiling. And just notice if you feel this a little bit more through the upper back, because we've isolated the twist to the thoracic spine, the most rigid part of the back. And then exhale the hand to the side and down. Place it right in front of your face. And we'll just do that on the other side. So open, for me, it's my left hand up towards the ceiling. And then bring the hand to your sacrum, to your lower back. Square the hips off, and then re-extend that arm upwards. Where do you feel this in the spine? And then reach the hand to the sides and down, and exhale, fold forward again. Press through the heels of the feet, but draw the toes in so you can feel the sit bones drawing away from one another. And then inhale, come to a halfway lift. The hands are under the shoulders. Pivot on the toes so the toes are out and the heels are in. Reach back between the legs so the knees are bent again. And as you inhale, come up into your little bunny posture so the wrists are flexed. Open the hands to the sides. And just lift one shoulder at a time. And then as you inhale, straighten the legs and extend the arms so the backs of the wrists are stretched. And then open the wrists up and gently close up to center. Good, and then inhale the fingers up, open across the front of the body. And as you exhale, start to round the spine forward, bend the knees, fold into your Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to a plank. So we'll take a full version of a vinyasa if you would like it. You can still take baby cobra, but as you exhale, lower down either to halfway or to the ground, and then you can inhale over the toes into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale for your final downward facing dog of the day. So just take a moment here to check in again. See if you can observe any differences in the body and the mind from the start of the class, from the first downward facing dog that you took today. And then look to the space in between your hands and start to walk forward until you can cross at the ankles and come to a seat. Extend the feet forward so you can keep a bend in the knee, or you can straighten through the legs. And just start to inhale the fingers up and exhale forward and down. And find a halfway lift in the spine and try to create this sensation of lifting the belly forward and over the legs and then folding down so you can really find length in the spine. Continue reaching forward through the top of the head. And then maybe soften the forehead down towards the knee for your Paschimottanasana. Allow the breath to settle. Take one more breath here. And take the gaze forward, look at your feet, and start to release the hands, circle them back around and up. You can bend the knees as you do this. And then circle the hands down to the sides and back behind the hips. So the fingers are facing forward. Place the soles of the feet on the ground. And as you inhale, press the hips up. Lengthen through the front of the body. And maybe you can drop the top of the head back, but continue to press through the hands so you can feel your shoulders engaging. Maybe you lower the hips and then lift them up again and find some tensioning and releasing. Or you can just stay. And then take the gaze forward, release the seat to the ground. Come onto the elbows and start to extend the feet up towards the ceiling. So you can point the toes and then start to make that infinity sign with each foot. And just feel this rotation down through the hip. You can move the fingers, neck. And then start to flex the feet towards your face and drop the feet to opposite sides. So you're opening up through the hips. Move through the neck. And then draw the feet to touch overhead. And then maybe you can bring one hand under the knee and sort of actively draw this heel towards the glute. So you're tensioning across the front of the knee to release that muscle. And then just changing legs. And really be active. Maybe your fingers can still move, but you're really drawing the heel towards the glute here. And maybe you can do both at the same time and find a little deep core balance. Smile, move the fingers, breathe to the belly. And then come back to the elbows, extend the feet up towards the ceiling. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and the knees to the side. And we'll come into our Baddha Konasana. So place the hands behind you, have the fingers facing back. Lift the heart up towards the ceiling with the gaze. And as you exhale, feel everything fall back towards the center. And then inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze, feel the breath really lengthening up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, let it go. And one more time, inhale, lift the heart up, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, round the spine forward, bring the hands to the feet, and try to draw the top of the head to the inside of the feet. It might just be a visualization, but allow the spine to round forward. And just settle the breath. And as you inhale, start to straighten the arms and rise the spine upright. You can move the neck from side to side. And start to extend the feet forward so you have more of a square in between the legs now. There's more space. Bring the hands to the feet and pull the heart forward and down and soften the forehead. And just notice the difference that you feel in the hips. So maybe you're experiencing this in the outer hips a little bit more than the inner hips. And as you inhale, gaze forward. And then as you exhale, drop the chin back towards the chest. And inhale, gaze forward and start to stack the spine upright. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground and see that you have the room behind you to move back so you can draw the hips a little closer to the heels of the feet. Extend the fingers forward and start to tuck the tailbone. Feel each part of the spine slowly lowering with control down to the ground until the head is the last thing that reaches. And you can step the feet in a little bit closer. And we'll take 3 rounds of bridge, the option for a wheel on the last round. Reach the fingers up towards the ceiling and press the shoulders as if you're plugging your arm down into the shoulder socket into the ground. Lift the hips up, press to the feet, and keep the fingers reaching forward. So this will take the pressure out of the neck. And continue feeling as if you have something in between your thighs, so they're actively reaching up towards the ceiling. And then with an exhale, slowly lower down vertebra by vertebra. Release the hands by your side, and you can just sort of windshield the knees from side to side here. And then come back through the center. So this time you can interlace the fingers underneath the back. So you can come to where you were and just reach the fingers up, press to the feet, lift the hips. Or you can roll one shoulder under at a time and interlace the fingers behind the back. So you find this bridge posture with the bind. And try to draw the chest towards the chin. Press back through the back of the head to release tension from the neck. And take one more breath here. And start to release the hands, reach them up towards the ceiling and lower down vertebra by vertebra. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and the knees go out wide. The hands can rest somewhere on the body, wherever they want to be. And just take a moment here to check in again, to rest in between the postures. And then for our last round, you can do full wheel if it's in your practice, or you can take whichever variation you've already done that felt the best. So just roll to the soles of the feet when you're ready. Start to extend the fingers up towards the ceiling and go to where you feel called to go. If you're coming to full wheel or Dhanurasana, then have the fingertips facing back towards the tops of the shoulders. Roll forward first to the top of the head and maybe hover from the ground a few inches and find this sort of reverse plank, and then start to straighten the arms and come into the wheel. If you're in full wheel, just lower down to the top of the head first, and then chuck the chin to the chest and roll down everyone to the ground. Hug the knees to the chest. And find a little ball here. And you can circle the knees in one direction together so you feel the lower back lifting away from the earth and then being pressed back down into the ground. And then just take this in the opposite direction too. And then pause by just hugging the knees in towards the chest. Release the arms in the shape of a T to the side. And drop the knees to the right. And then take the gaze towards the left fingers. And just take a moment to feel everything softening down into the ground. Release the jaw, close down through the eyes, and really begin to let go of the practice. Hug the knees through the center and over to the left, then gaze to the right. The eyes can close down if it's comfortable. Hug the knees back through the center so you're in a little ball. Bring the hands to the knees and draw the forehead towards the knees. And tighten every muscle that you can. So tighten the little hands and the fists, tighten the feet, tighten every muscle of the face, the core, and just feel this tension that you can create throughout the entire body. And then on your next exhale, relax everything. Open the legs out and completely release and surrender into the ground, into this support from the earth that's constant, no matter what. Take a deep breath in and sigh out any extra tension you might be carrying. And just take a moment, check in with the feet, see if you can let go of any tension in the ligaments, the nerves, all the tiny little muscles that support us, up through the legs, to the hips, the knees, the belly. Let go of the pelvic floor muscle so you can feel the belly expanding with the breath. Relax the fingers. See if you're carrying tension there that's not necessary. Release the jaw. Create space in between the back teeth. Relax the tongue. Relax the muscles of the lips, the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead. And just surrender into your Shavasana, your final rest posture of the class. And just take a deep breath into the belly. And let it go with an exhale through the mouth. Start to move through the fingers and through the toes and small movements to start. And then extend the arms overhead and reach through the fingers and point through the toes so you feel this primal morning stretch like you just woke up. And step the feet in one by one so the soles of the feet are on the ground and the back lengthens down. And then roll to one side and come into a fetal posture. And just take a few moments here using the bottom arm as support for the head, relaxing into the ground, enjoying these final moments of practice that you have with yourself, with your internal world. And when you're ready, keep the gaze soft and just press up to a seat. Take your time getting there. And let's just maybe blink open the eyes and take a few final movements here. Start to just follow my movements with the eyes. And drop the chin towards the chest and inhale the fingers up towards the ceiling. And then open the hands slowly to the sides. And as if you were pulling something in towards the body, circle the hands around so the backs of the wrists flex. And then inhale the fingers up. And let's just do that a couple more times. And start to bring the palms of the hands just away from one another. Move through the shoulders. Find buoyancy as if you're floating in water. And reach the fingers forward and apart. And then coming back so the palms are just away from one another. And see if you can close the eyes and feel any sort of magnetism or a transfer of energy from one palm of the hand to the other. This is the prana that we cultivate, the chi, the life force, the circulation. From many different cultures, it has different names. And then inhale, start to reach the fingers forward and up so the palms touch. And let's lower with an om. So take a deep breath in and you can just join or you can listen. And just close the eyes and remind yourself of the intention that you set at the start of the class. See if that's something that you are ready to release, or maybe it's something that you want to carry with you into the upcoming week or the rest of the day. And just bow your head in gratitude for your health, for your body, for your community, and for this practice that we have the pleasure to share. Thank you for joining me throughout the past month and into the future. I look forward to practicing with you again. Namaste. Let's see. I'm going to stop my music, but thank you guys. I hope you feel good, and I hope that you've enjoyed learning some yoga synergy. It's been
so enjoyable. I really, really, really like this form of practice. And
Good. Yeah, and
yeah.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
being
sure.
here. If you guys want, I've recorded most of the classes. So I'll take July off because I'll be a little busy, but I'll probably resume in August. So I'll just email everybody if, as long as you consent to that, and give you guys information moving forward.